So, I have an adventure today. You're very high up, so hopefully the audio is fine. But I went to, well, I got this from HomeSense, but I went to Hobbycraft and bought a load of stuff. So the main thing is I wanted to try out like the pens, and I wanted to get Copics, but these were available and they had more options. They only had like very few like random Copics that had already been opened. The good thing about getting containers like this is that you know that it hasn't just been used for 2 years in the store. So I got this 12 set, so this one has like kind of nudie brownie colours all across the range, so I thought that was a good idea. I mean, it's supposed to be for manga, but it's not the kawaii chibi one. So gonna test all of these things out. So there's these to test as well. They were having a big old sale, so I got these. So I don't know what they were originally, but they're £3. So £1 per pen. Marker is quite good. So I got Cobalt, Brilliant Blue. Actually, let's open this up. And Sky Blue. So I'm going to be swatching all of these and then trying to make an artwork. Great. My nail just popped off. Thanks. I'm going to try to make one art piece with these pens and one with these ones. So, test out my sketchbook. So I got 3 blue ones, which I've already said the names of. Then 3 orange ones, as they're classified. But I kind of wanted a brown as well, so I needed to buy the big old pack. So this one has orange, makes sense. Mellow yellow, I'm pretty sure that's a reference to pea, and pastel peach, nice. And the last one of green, yeah, I can already read the names. The classic dark green, pale green and mint green, even though I guess mint green is kind of a bit more bluey. And as well as for lining, I got some uni balls, so I'm going to test those out as well because I haven't really tried lining my artwork. But I've been seeing other people do it and I figured it's a technique, I can try it out. I should have kept those in order. Okay, so we're going to swatch all of these. How do you open this container? I assume it pops in half. Need to find a seam. Should probably use the thumb that's already lost its nail polish. Okay, that's actually very convenient. It comes with a little piece of paper with all the names. So I'm going to keep those in there actually. But first we'll start off with the swatch. Let's keep those all out the way. This was water damaged, which was why it was cheaper. So this is my swatch page. Well, my swatch area. It's a bit, it's a bit damaged, isn't it? And it wasn't even that cheap, but it's fine after the first 3 pages. I'm not sure whether that's supposed to be like that. Should I snip those? I might Mod Podge them. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to try to save this page, but I'll try. So let's start with the 3 oranges. Do a swatchy swatch. There you go, we've got double nib action. Okay, that looks peachy. Doesn't really look like the colour here. Yep. I really quite like the size on that. Then the orange is much more dirty, more brown. Oh wait, I was supposed to use the other end. And the orange I expect to be orange. Does have kind of more of a staining at the end, but I'll see how that dries. This is much less vibrant than I thought it would be. These are the real interesting ones. Blues, always interesting. That's quite nice. I like that as a sea blue colour, which is the lightest one. Then, now this is a normal blue. This is a blue I'm probably not going to be using much. It's far too dark for me. I guess I can do some outlining in blue. Try to get some blue characters. And I think this is a nicer blue. But, yeah, it's slightly nicer, I guess. But it's not my favourite. Getting into the dark ones. Dark greens. I don't know why I said the dark ones. Just the fact that they're next to each other. This is ridiculously dark. This is very pine tree-y to me. Then the middle. I keep on not knowing which one's which. That one's kind of easier to go fine, which is interesting. That's an okay green. It's a bit too vibrant for most uses, I'd say. And the pastel, yeah, it's kind of under saturated. It doesn't say it's pastel, it's just pale, but I'd prefer it more to be in the range of the blue there. So then let's try. So let's put that in order. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.8 is not next, 0.3, 0.5, 0.8. So 0.1. 0.2. I probably should have been equally firm with these, which is not true. 0.3. I think the 0.3 is the most comfortable. I guess that might be more standard. 0.5, I do believe. Yep, that one's a bit thicker than average ballpoint, I'd say. And this one is thick. 0.8. Yeah, 0.8. Cool. So let's try out the proper markers, because I mean we're £1. That's definitely worth it. I probably should have zoomed in, but you're in a precarious situation at the moment, so I'll leave you. So I guess we'll start. We'll go up, down. I mean, if I can get them out, I might have to prepare. Okay, so this is a blender. Okay, this is a blender. So that is to use between colours to blend them together, I guess. So I'll test that out maybe another day. So don't know what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do a gradient to the right, so kind of seeing the first layer to second layer. So that was quite nice, I think. Stay there. This one's even lighter. Still, I mean, I really liked that grey actually, the cool grey. What for? Oh, henna. Okay, so this is a brown. This is one I want to work in quite a lot. Slightly orangey for my uses. I kind of like the second layer a bit more. This looks like a really nice green if it is the green that it looks like. Kind of safari pants-y. So that's very light. I like its pastelness. Second layer. Just a bit more brown. I'm definitely going to be using this one in the future. I'm going to be using all of these. This is also kind of a khaki safari-y colour. I like it more in its first layer actually, but I think also this paper is not meant for this, so it does not suit it. Okay, so this is quite a, it's called soft green, quite a nice soft minty green. So I might put this next to this green. Surprisingly, I actually like the cheaper green more. But I do like the tone of this one as well. So let's put the blue next to, this should be a deep kind of slightly turquoisey blue. It's called petrol blue. So I'm going to put it down next to the blue, darker one. I do really like turquoisey blues, so hopefully this one will go well. Goes very dark. I think I'd have to stick with one layer for that one. Very light blue, which I've already covered up, so this, I think these two really are the best like shows of like pastels. They're very light, so I think I'll probably use those two in conjunction actually. So the red actually is more similar to the, oh that's bright, the henna, but I'll put it up here because we've started a second row. That is ridiculously red. I'm likely not going to use that much. This is kind of, it's a skin colour called putty. So I want to put that next to the putty colour actually, kind of down there. Yep, this is a pretty browny skin colour, I guess. Kind of undertones of yellow. And I like it more on its first layer. Don't know if any of this is helpful or even relevant. This is quite a nice orange. It's nice that it has different undertones to the orange I already have. I kind of count that. It's more of a pink. That's definitely dried down to a pink. A skin, like very pinky skin colour, very peachy actually. A yellow and an orange. So it's nice that they're kind of the same level of brightness but very different undertones. And then what's this? Saffron. Okay. I think I've seen saffron and it's quite yellow actually. This is kind of another skin colour. More yellow undertoney one. And I like that more on its second layer. But we'll see when it's dry. Okay, so that's all of my new ones. I'm going to label that in the 0.8. No, let's label it in the 0.2 because I don't think I'm going to use that much. So these ones are, oh it's not helpful that I labelled it this way. So these are hobbycraft. And these are not Copic, what are they called? Promarker. Which is not helpful because they're also up there, which that doesn't make much sense. But I think I might do a sketch in pencil on the first good page and then try to do, I don't know, I'll try to do one, try to do a different one below in the other markers. Okay, so final review with the finished piece. The hobbycraft stuff was pretty great. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much cheaper they are in reality because I got them on sale. So they're £1 each, which isn't ridiculously cheap, but I'm not sure how much they were intended to be. I found the chisel tip on the markers to be very helpful for just blocking in colour if you're working in large scale. And also kind of just having another shape to work with rather than just the tiny pointy end of a normal pen. Now, I think if you used pro markers, you'll actually be
immediately shouting at me, or being shouting at me earlier on, that they actually have chisel tips, which is true. I just didn't know this until much later. I'm an idiot. As you can see, I'm doing the flowers. So these are supposed to be hydrangeas. I think that it looks like hydrangeas in the end. I didn't do the full. I kind of did a stylized version of them because they're kind of balls of flowers. They've got quite a lot of detail just kind of strapped into them. But I did kind of a colour, and then one side like a shadow in an offset slightly darker colour, and I use a third orange to do little flowers on the darker side to symbolise the hydrangea's complexity and blah blah blah, hydrangeaness. And I think it turned out really well. I really like, out of the two pieces, I definitely prefer the hobbycraft piece, but I think that's obviously my fault, and it's largely due to composition. It was rather easy to work with. I did find it was quite hard to draw over, especially with the darker colours, but I much prefer... I prefer the kind of colour sets that they gave. I think the orange set was my favourite. Oh, well, I guess I must have done the flowers just in another layer of the darker one, because I forgot that the lightest one was the peach. So I can't remember how I did that. I think I just used 2 layers. I mean, you'll see in a little bit whether I used 2 layers of the lighter colour or 1 layer of the lighter colour and then a layer of darker colour. I'm not really sure. We'll see when it comes up. But I think it turned out well, and I think the colours were really complementary. So where I feel that the pro markers immediately leapt from light blue to bright blue, there was kind of more of a gradient. Though admittedly, I do think that it wasn't perfect, because I feel like people are going to use a lot more light blues with skies and the seas and, you know, natural aspects than they are the bright, vibrant, darker blues that they were given. Because, quite honestly, it's not very natural. It's quite specific. I think they would have done better having maybe a light blue, a more turquoise blue, and then a brighter blue as a range. I think that would have sufficed. But yeah, I really liked doing 2 layers. The greens, I think, complemented each other quite well. I didn't have any problems with bleeding or when it kind of going on the wrong area, kind of covering that up. It was reasonably good. I definitely recommend them. I think it's a great product. So with the pro markers, so I think there's two main problems. I mean, one main problem was entirely my own idiocy. I mean, three main problems, but the main problem largely for this piece is that I drew it ugly. But also the chisel tip, because I took 500,000 years doing the background pieces because it was a large area of just colour, block colour, and it took 500 years to finish. But the biggest issue is the bleeding. Okay? Like, what's the point in having like a precise pen end if it's just gonna have big blobby dots? Like, no one wants that. Like, if I wanted, I think that's where it started bleeding, and it was exclusively the brown pen. Now, I have to say, I specifically purchased this set for the brown. Now, since then, I have gone onto eBay and bought two brush end brown pens, kind of a more light and a more dark brown, and they're doing great. So I've replaced this brown, but this brown is terrible. It's not even like that nice of a shade. I was quite disappointed in it. I think I wanted a bit more red in it, maybe. Not really sure, but that was the main problem with these pens. Now, these are expensive. I kind of just expected better. But, you know, there's always going to be a faulty product, and can you judge the entire set by one malfunctioning one? No, but it is annoying, isn't it? It was only that brown one that bled, and it bled a lot. It was inconvenient. I would say the other main problem that was kind of just a main problem for me is the colour choices in the palette. I'm not really 100% sure why the red's in there. So you kind of have some natural browns, kind of some natural shades. I mean, you do have a very bright blue, but generally quite natural shades. Like, I really like the green, how the green goes with the safari colour, like, really complementary. And I like the kind of taupe kind of beigey, and what's it called? I'm gonna check. The putty colour? Yeah, the putty colour. I didn't write that down, I don't know what I was looking at. But I did remember the putty colour. I love those ranges, but then suddenly you just throw in some blood on me. Like, why add red? I don't really like the composition, but I liked, as I talked about earlier, the like chibi colours even worse. So I'd say kind of they should have stuck to one palette, really. Yes, I'm intelligent enough to cover up the entire space with my head, but yeah, the chisel tip, I probably should have just blocked out entire areas, but no, I just painstakingly did so much work. And I mean, quite honestly, it was also a lot of work to try to incorporate that red and try to incorporate as many colours as I could, because I literally used every colour on the bottom one, but I think there was a few that I missed. I think mostly the bright blue. I was planning on doing more detail on the river in the kind of background, but it just would not go in the colour palette. And the poppies were already kind of vibrant and violent to the eyes. Yep, look at that. There's a chisel tip if you just kind of lift the other end. So, you know, tip number 1, look at your stuff. Overall, I will be working with it more. I think that the Pro Marker's a bit better for layering, and it comes with a blending one. I don't know if I showed that in the beginning. I think I tried it and I was like, what? It's invisible. But I'll be trying that out. I didn't manage to do it here because I was just trying to use as many colours as possible. But I think Pro Marker might be a bit better, well, should be better for blending, and might be a bit better for putting layers of colour, i.e., kind of blocking out the Sahara colour, and then during the red poppies instead of painstakingly going around them. But yeah, I had a good time, and I hope you can try out. If you want, you can try out these products. I would say don't really shy away from the hobbycraft ones. They're not, just normal biro pens or what's it called, like felt tip pens. They are better. I would say they're worth it, if for £1 each. Just try out one or two of your own. Look, I just then found out it had a chisel tip. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yep, generally, I'm an idiot. And thank you. Come again, guys.